wow, we would have never believed this. You can listen to us on our podcast. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on Google. Go out there and listen to us when you're driving to work, or maybe when you're just sitting at home, or you're on the treadmill at the gym. Go on out there and listen to our podcast. So we're excited about it. We're glad you're excited about it too.
Like, he used to be my boy. I'm like, dude, I love Kanye West. He's speaking out against.
Yeah, you can't say that. You're gonna get us canceled.
No, I used.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us on another Relevant Rants. So I wanted to talk to you guys today. We've been talking a lot internally as our team about our purpose and our mission, and a lot of that is just to strengthen the nuclear family. We do that through education, a lot of means, and so that's why we do this show. So the other day we were
allegedly.
Allegedly. You know, I like the interjection, Tom. We were sitting in church, and one of the pastors was talking about, people have been talking about for decades. We're at the end of times, right? Well, the implication that he was making was that not only are we at the end of times, we are at the end of times. And whether that's true or not, the Bible says that no man will know the hour, right? But we'll know the season. So there's a lot of evidence of, just corruption and like wickedness going on in the world.
It says what is wrong will be right, and right is wrong.
Yeah, and I mean,
That's me.
it couldn't
I
be any
find
more
myself
evident.
wondering, I'm like, I must be the crazy one if this is the way people really think. I have to be the crazy one.
But
I don't think I am.
But it just pops up on your news feed every day, and you're like, what?
I'm like, that's
Yeah.
okay? That's not okay.
No, it's not okay.
But some of the examples of that is, what's recently going on with Balenciaga, all of that stuff. The Kanye West, crazy things he said this week. Killer robots in the Bay Area, real life Stranger Things, and people liking soccer.
It's a great sport. Don't listen to him.
Yeah. So end of days, evilness over here in the dark shirt. People liking soccer. Anyway, not everyone calls it soccer. People like to call it below the leg ball, or what else?
Well, you know what? It's crazy too, because they got this wormhole thing that they're theoretically saying we could do here on Earth, And I think that's got a spiritual connotation.
Oh, it
because
does.
you're opening up a realm into something that we've always thought could be a spiritual realm.
Yeah, if people were curious if there was stuff that existed outside of what we can see, they could have just asked us Christians.
Yeah.
We see it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Well, we could show them a book too to read.
There was an article you shared this week from New York Post talking about that, and the article says, it's theoretical and everything else. Now, we only speculate, but there's a lot of things that we're not told, right? So if they're saying that we could do it, we theoretically did it, we did it on a quantum computer, have they really done it in real life?
Probably.
Like Chris was saying,
The Stranger Things is maybe more real than what we would like to
they're
believe.
probably 20 or 30 years ahead of us, because
more.
what's happening in the military gets released. I mean, we're talking Bluetooth, we're talking GPS, that all was being worked on, and then we see it now enhance our daily lives.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes takes a couple decades to sometimes be revealed. So if they're talking about scientists making wormholes without rupturing time and space study, they may have.
What
already
I
done
like is that people will use that stuff as an argument to say, like, God doesn't exist. To me, it further emphasizes that he does, because if people thought that this just happened by an accident, like, that's crazy enough. Like, life as we see it. Now you're telling me there's other, like, quantum leaps. Like, there's wormholes. Like,
Yeah, they just
if you
came out with
believe
a
that's
new one
just
the
like
other day.
a little accident, you have to be crazy. It just further, I think,
There's
solidifies the argument for God.
There's so many topics that just justify it. I love the book by Hugh Ross, Scientists Who Believe. I believe that he's the author of that book. Don't roast me if I'm not. But there's a book called Scientists Believe.
Don't listen to him. Roast him.
They went out to prove that faith, Christ, God didn't exist as scientists, and they all became believers.
Yeah, yeah. They're like, okay, this wasn't an accident.
Yeah, I mean, so if you want to go out there, I love it when people come against the Bible, because it's been the anvil people have been beating against since the beginning of time. Mm-hmm. There is no God. Well,
it's also like the only religion on earth that you could openly persecute and hate speech about, and you don't get canceled. Like, you could hate Christianity all you want. Say anything else about any other religion, and you're canceled.
Hey, come out against Muhammad, and you're probably going to have a price put on your head.
We
in some
see
other
Kanye
country.
West.
Oh yeah. Speaking of counseling, he said some crazy things this week. He effectively canceled himself.
And I tried holding on to hope because Ye is
almost like you look at that as like he almost did it on purpose. Like you trying
I think
to
he's
cancel
like
yourself?
riding the line. He's just trying to be so far. Like he used to be my boy. I'm like, dude, I love Kanye West. He's speaking out
Yeah,
against.
you can't say that. You're gonna get us canceled.
No, I used no. Well, this is because like I saw him speaking out against like the most dangerous place for a black child to be is in he or she's mother's womb, right? That's real. And like someone's gonna openly, but then he started like.
Wait, hold on. I got to pause
crazy.
on something you said. You said he or she. Are you suggesting there's only two genders?
Well, when I said it's, I was like, no, I got to make sure everybody knows there's two genders. God created man and woman. And he took the best parts of man and pulled them out, and that's how he made women. So you guys are a little bit better than us.
When people want to talk about genders, I'll say, go back to archaeology. You're going to find a skeleton, and they're going to deem it male or female, right?
Yep.
I mean, they're not finding a transgender.
This one was part dinosaur.
I mean, I just go back to it's one of the boxes they check when they dig up bones.
Yeah.
That was a male or that was a female. And that's all that matters in their investigation at that point, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just
but it was completely
Not today.
crazy when he had said like, oh, there were some good things that Hitler did. In fact, Hitler was a great man, and there like I'm paraphrasing and obviously
we didn't say that.
No, and also
said
I'm not
that-
saying that those are the exact words, right? But it was along those lines. Like if you listen to it or watch it, it's out there. We're not going to share it with you, but he was basically saying, yeah, the Nazis were good.
It's where I finally draw the line.
Yeah,
I was trying to
like,
hold
you're
out hope. I'm
pretty out
like,
there.
okay, he's trying to be bold and make a statement. And now it's like, okay, dude,
you
you're
just lost
too
your
much.
Tom's mind.
Didn't Elon just say we tried?
Yeah. We tried giving you a chance. You failed again.
Yep. Kicked him off again last night.
Yeah.
I'll show you, Elon.
Well, I think we're talking about futuristic things, and we can go back to San Francisco's supervisors voting to allow police to deploy robots that have the ability
That'll
to
go
kill.
well.
You are experiencing a car accident.
We've seen plenty of movies about this.
Yeah, haven't they ever watched a movie in the past 40 years?
Terminator, my
Well,
boy Arnold.
iRobot.
I was like, yeah.
You name it?
It's funny because Joe Rogan blasts them saying it has terrifying implications.
Well, who
So
do you
lo-
blame? Like, at least they can no longer hate cops. Okay, hate the robot.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't have feelings.
I actually like what they're doing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
We don't know him.
They've got a whole bunch of bomb squad robots.
Sure.
Okay, so
But they don't kill people.
Well, no, these are the robots they're using.
Okay.
Same ones. They aren't buying new robots.
Okay.
These are the remote
They're
control.
driving the bombs up to people and blowing them up, or what?
Yes, it's in
They pick 'em up.
spots where it's not safe for the police to go in.
Well, I think we can always say that everything might start out with good intentions, but there's so many ways to go off to bad intentions.
Well, so you know what? I just had this thought occur to me.
So you're
right?
going to keep these out of criminals' hands, right?
I mean, these things cost like $1 million, so
Well, they don't have
you
that
think
money.
the criminals don't have money?
not that kind of money. To
I
spend
think
on those
who
things.
was it? Was it Pablo
rhymes
Escobar
with George
or
Soros?
that had,
Yeah, right?
That was the Forbes, one of the richest.
Yeah,
men.
we do have billionaires funding criminals, you know.
Well, yeah, yes.
So what made me kind of came to my mind was we're talking about, well, the government's 20, 30, 40 years ahead of like public knowledge, right? So these movies that come out, is Hollywood kind of on the inside that maybe they've seen some of this stuff that's ahead of time and they're like, hey, we're warning you actually is what we're doing. It's not science fiction. It's actually more realistic than what you might think.
I mean, there is a thought out there that could be foreshadowing.
because
and it's
yes.
in the vein of propaganda. Hey guys, why don't you warn the people this is what's coming?
Yeah. Well, it's how many times you hear that somebody is suing a writer of a movie because they might have a little too much knowledge and truth inside the movie when it comes out. It's like, who leaked that part?
Yeah, I remember Tom Clancy had the FBI come knocking on his
Yes, they
door
did.
trying to figure out how he knew so much about our nuclear submarines.
Yep.
I guess he spent days and days in the libraries reading everything he could, piecing from different sources. And
There's a good chance he had more than just library access.
that's what he said.
Do you guys remember, or I'm the only old man here?
You are the only old man
that
here.
they had the Antarctic cookbook that was on the internet.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh yeah,
You
Jolly
know,
Rogers.
And
I had a copy.
And,
Same
and,
here.
but it talked about how they, I remember how that was free speech
yes.
to share common knowledge on how to make the bombs, that people were using to hurt people or
It was
create
interesting.
acts of
Did you ever
terrorism.
read any of it?
No, I did not.
I
never
copy
had
on
a plan to
I had
use
heard
any of
about
it.
it.
Yeah.
but-
I just knew that it was
You're
probably
too young.
No, I remember it.
Oh,
It
okay.
was alive and well.
It was probably one of the internet's first challenges to free speech, to information sharing, because it basically worked.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
followed those instructions to make devices that hurt people. So, I mean, that is.
Speaking of things that hurt people, Kyle, you wanted to talk about soccer, right?
Look,
It
soccer,
hurts me to even think about it. but-
soccer is a great sport.
Those guys are in shape. I'm telling
this
you that.
show does not condone what he's saying, just for the record.
If you actually watched the match, what I was trying to explain to them is whenever we played England, it was such a great game because we were expected to totally just get dominated and lose. And we tied, so that technically the score is 0-0. But if you look, we actually won that game. We had ball control. We had twice as many shots on goal. We significantly played. I mean, we played better than we usually do. It was cool to watch. And then if you watch the game with Iran, you guys see like the score is 1-0. But if you watch the game and you look what they're doing, ball control, who has more passes? Are they playing defensively? Are they controlling the narrative of the game? All of that.
Well, I want to jump in on that one because I was very.
It's like chess almost.
I was very interested because as I looked and something came up on my news feed, and I knew the United States was playing Iran or Iran. It's hard. I got a
Iran,
speech impediment. So that when the article for ESPN came up, I couldn't tell who they played. I started thinking, are they going soft on Iran because America beat Iran? They did, because then I came up with another one and I saw the American flag and the Iranian flag and
they did something with the flag. That was actually a
Yeah,
big
they
deal.
actually got rid of. So I think it was
removed
the
a logo,
females,
I think.
wasn't it?
It was-
They got rid of the flag and they put up the pride flag.
I mean, I guess
No,
if
not
you're
that.
Well,
Oh, you want to talk about irony?
I go whoa.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking, wow, they can't even say that in the ESPN article that the United States beat Iran. I looked everywhere and I was like, man, I think they played the United States. I mean, where are we at now if we can't say that? And then if you go far enough down, you find out, oh yeah, we did play. But you saw so many political narratives with the soccer.
So I'm sure you heard that there is no booze to be sold.
yeah,
the game, right?
they changed their mind like 3 days before it opened.
Well, I don't think they changed their mind. I don't think it's allowed. They were like, we're not going to allow, the United States to
Change the
determine
rules in our
whether we
country,
allow.
yeah.
But what's also ironic? Did you see they're not allowed to like gay pride flags? Not allowed.
No.
I'm like, okay, are they getting canceled?
Well, I mean, I'm worried about the players. I think everybody is. If they go back, because I don't think they sang the national anthem for Iran.
So
No, they didn't.
So I
They
think
didn't.
I think
So are they in trouble for that when they get home?
Yeah, they Iranian officials actually arrested their biggest soccer star 2 weeks ago for protesting.
Yeah.
And I mean the Iranian government voted to tell all the judges to sentence all those protesters to death.
Wow.
well,
Yeah.
So these guys that lost and didn't sing the anthem, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
I
Pray
think,
for them.
I think one of the best things about soccer in America is it's not as widely accepted as some other sports, fortunately. Kyle, you were saying that it was 0-0, the score with England and the United States, but it
was
was
a big
considered
win.
that the United States won.
Yeah,
so
the
it's-
commentary and like even the articles, we should have lost that game significantly, and we didn't. We hung.
We did.
tight.
It was tied to 0.
No, we did great.
But
It's,
we were
and this
talking
is
about
the
how it's a
example I gave. This
subjective
is the
sport,
example.
We got a
right?
participation award.
Right. Well, you were involved in a highly subjective sport, Tom.
Oh yeah, bodybuilding. Yeah. I mean,
So the
well, there
example
again,
I gave was in a UFC fight. You could watch someone dominate and just
If they scored points.
No, not by TKO. So what I'm meaning is, you have one guy who's just destroying the other guy, but then this guy gets a lucky haymaker knockout. It's like everyone can still appreciate the fact that the other dude who got knocked out won the fight. He lost, but he straight mollywopped him. Right? He just beat him up, and
Mollywop.
right, like he did something.
He was
won the
winning
fight.
until he lost.
Yeah, it's like a fluke
He
thing.
was,
But everyone
until he got
almost,
knocked out.
Yep.
but what I'm getting at is everyone will honor the guy that fought
Yeah.
well the whole fight. That's what I'm saying. It was
Yes.
tied.
Oh,
but
I
everyone's
see what you're saying.
appreciating the fact that we should have
You put up
lost
a
and we
good
didn't.
To for us not to beat you by a point. You guys did a good job.
Yeah.
So I think we've talked about soccer enough, but anyway, to talk about pure evil, as soccer is, we were looking at having a big discussion prior to recording here about the Balenciaga thing, and Kyle and Chris, I think you guys know more than the rest of us about it, but.
Yeah, Mike doesn't know much about design or anything.
I don't know much about design, and apparently I don't know much about child pornography either.
No,
and I'm not accusing you of that, by the way.
No, I know I've done enough research on this because like things like this, when it comes to my children,
It should bother us all.
It does.
It literally makes my skin crawl to the point that like it disgusts me that we've come this far as a people that stuff like this is even happening. The fact that you have children being sexualized on such a normal level and it's not being canceled more widely than it is.
They're being conditioned.
Yeah.
Well, what's that other word I'm looking for?
Groomed.
Yeah. Basically, they're letting them know that there's some insinuation, allegedly, about bondage, with children that are holding a bear that looks like it's in bondage clothes.
They're allowing children to mutilate their own bodies and give themselves hormones, but they can't go get a tattoo. You cannot get a tattoo, but you can go get your breast cut off of your body or your penis cut off. That is wild to me.
My wife cannot
How did this happen?
administrate an aspirin to a student without contacting the parent.
Yeah. Well,
And what's crazy, Kim Kardashian, the spokeswoman of half of America, apparently, she's like, I'm
on
just
the other half. I guess I'm on the other half.
self-proclaimed.
Yes. No, she is. And what's funny is because my wife doesn't know anything about the story. She just goes, well, I think Kim K was I think she said that it was they issued an apology. I'm like, but that doesn't mean it's okay. No. But women will seriously hear that. Oh, well, Kim Kardashian said.
Well,
they're
testing the
apologized.
waters. They're like, hey, let me do this thing. Oh, we're sorry, right? But
the fact that it took her multiple days to come out with something, because she's like the face of Balenciaga, I believe. But anyways, the fact that it took her multiple days to even come out and say something is disgusting, and the fact that she has children is even more disgusting.
Well, isn't it funny because
but it's not
Musk,
surprising. She got her fame off of a leaked sex tape.
Well,
What? This is crazy.
Hey, isn't it funny when Elon Musk can be hourly criticized?
yeah.
By something he does, and this takes a few days, and people are okay with it.
Elon Musk got more of lashback by his window breaking in his Tesla. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think what's crazy is there's not enough people coming against this. It's trying to be normalized, like we discussed previously. But there was that article in Babylon Bee that you shared, Tom. Apparently thought was real.
It was hilarious.
But they showed the My Pillow, and they're like, and what's sad about this, right, is this could be a real article.
Oh,
right?
totally.
If it was actually true, they would have condemned Balenciaga about the Tom'd My Pillow, but not came out against the child pornography
Well,
stuff.
they'd have probably came out against Mike Lindell.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that's another travesty where you take a guy who is just supporting something he believes in, and everybody comes out against his product, his goods. I mean, there again, I think we'd all feel bad if people came out against things that we're trying to make a living with. You have an opinion, but does it go along with what you're trying to do and the message you're sending?
Yeah, so the View came out. I don't know if you guys heard or saw this, but they were.
I don't watch the View, Mike, like you.
I only hear clips that are shared on other podcasts that I do
watch
listen
The View?
to. No.
He's alone on that one, guys. We do
I
not
watch
watch
The
The
View.
View.
You're on the other side of the world with that one.
So they came out and said, the worst thing about this Balenciaga thing is it gives the conservatives something to say against.
That's the worst thing. You're right.
That's the worst thing, or potentially the My Pillow thing, right? But anyway, the craziness going on in the world, because that was the worst thing that could have happened.
You know how I look at the things I like to watch is I believe the people that are saying them. The View, I don't believe anything those people are saying.
There's lunatics.
I just.
But they always have that fake conservative on the show, right?
Yeah.
It was well planned. It was articulated. The court case paper that they had in the photo shoot that the photographer set up. I mean, that's crazy.
Well,
some of those books in the background.
There again, it's part of the grooming. We've all heard the subtle satire.
Just watching it, if it doesn't, like looking at the photos, if it doesn't make your skin crawl,
Oh, it does.
it's just weird. I mean, I don't
So,
get it.
but
You know what's crazy in prison? If you're a child predator or a rapist of sorts, like you get killed for that in prison.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
They have to put you in solitary confinement, or
it's a different culture.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
But what I do want to say is, for all you watching, there is good news and there's good things going on in the world. And Tom, I know you had something to share on that.
We've got one of our talent and host, my wife Tiffany Touchstone. She's a superintendent of a school district, and yesterday they had some educators from New York come out, and they've got a program that they're doing in our rural area where my wife is a superintendent, and they got a really nice article written up about the Bakersfield Californian today. If you want to see it, we'll post the article. But it was just on something they're doing for the kids. I mean, if you're in a rural area, you may not have a car, so you can't. So they're bringing in and they're servicing the kids with dental care. Mm-hmm. They're giving them some psychology things. They're out there. They're not
providing them with a lot of resources, Tom.
A lot of resources, and they're not out there pushing an agenda on the kids that the parents are foreign to. They're having real conversations with them. They're offering social emotional learning. They're bringing the parents in. They're actually helping the families while they're out there.
But they're not just making an impact in that community. They're setting a standard.
Well, the people from New York came out because they had an interest in what they were doing. And as they're out there, they're making an impact. I don't think you have to go out there and try to brainwash children. You have to try to cram a hidden agenda behind some education to affect parents. You can have open conversations with parents. You can go down and sit in a school board meeting where everybody has a relationship and knows each other. I think that's what we're missing in the school system to this day, is just open conversation. Where it's not like, hey, we got to hide it from you because we think it's better for your kids than you think it is.
And parental involvement.
Yeah, parental involvement. If you involve the parents, which we all believe is the right thing to do, but you're trying to help the kids at home by helping their parents at home and keeping it above board. I think that's one thing you always want to do. I don't want to do something where the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. So
yeah,
good job.
Congratulations, Tiffany.
Well, her and Lost Hills.
It's glad to hear there's some hope in the world, right?
There is.
We get so fixated on the negative and the Balenciaga thing and the Kanye West, but we have to remember there's a force of good working, and it's people like your wife who is doing things to secure humanity and honestly,
and working with the school district, working with the educators,
and I think that's where
teachers.
It starts. We could be like I'm sitting here thinking we could be noisy about it, or we could just go be a force of good in the world.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
think that's what we focus on, right?
Like my wife is now the vice president of the PTC at my kids' school.
I love that.
She probably spends 40 or 50 hours a month out at the school.
Yes.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and you can make a difference. And she sees herself making an impact in children's lives and other parents' lives.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, she helps in both my kids' classes, but then she also helps with all the events.
Yeah.
And they raise tons of money, so that all the classrooms are fully stocked with everything they need.
And I know Kyle's thinking about running for school board in your community where you are, and that's how you make a difference. You go in, you participate in what's available to you.
Yep.
Well, anyway, guys, we like to make a point to bring to you the fact that there is good things going on. Yeah, we're bringing attention to some of the things that need attention brought to it, trying to educate, trying to inform, and trying to prepare and equip you guys with knowledge. But at the same time, we're trying to leave on a note of, hey, there is some positive going on. And that again, with Tiffany, and there's some other things going on. We try to bring that to you every week. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We hope you have a great day. God bless.